can look at my paperwork, man. My paperwork. If I was writing it to be on CNN, you know what I mean?
You better believe it, my nigga.
Yeah, it'd be on CNN. You know, you got some people insinuate, oh, Big Meech telling on Mexicans. How? Look on Wikipedia. It'll tell you. Daniel Correll out of L.A., he telling on me. Shit, you know, penitentiary rules is if you do not call a man hot or a rat or a snitch or that he cooperating with the government without having paperwork to prove it. You know what I'm saying? Right. If not, you get your bitch ass up top. You check in or your car check you in. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know, not supposed to send her, oh yeah, I think Big Meech hot. No, you don't think that. You show that, or you keep your opinion to yourself.
Big Meech fired off a fiery message to 50 Cent, warning him in no uncertain terms to quit mentioning his son or be ready to face some serious fallout. Asterisk.
I swear to God, sir.
I know, but unfortunately, there's certain procedures we have to follow anytime something comes in that's prohibited, correct?
Right. So listen, sir.
You understand that, correct?
But can you please?
Do you have your ID on you?
Sir, my ID's in my bag.
In the bag?
Yes, sir, listen, I'm a minor, sir. I have security guards. They left that in my bag, sir. I did not pack my bag.
Well, we can get that all straightened out after the fact, okay? But until then, I have to put you in handcuffs until we figure this out.
Okay.
Okay, you understand that?
Can I call my mom or somebody, please?
We'll do that after.
Okay.
All right? Just turn around for me. Be cooperative. Everything's up to video and audio surveillance. Plus, I'm on body cam. You understand that?
Let's be real. Meech did 27 years out of a 30-year sentence. That time reduction came from the First Step Act, a bipartisan law reforming sentencing guidelines, not from snitching. Still, once 50 Cent got going, the drama didn't slow down. The situation between 50 Cent and Big Meech has grown so heated. It's not just a headline anymore, it's a conversation dividing the culture. Social media is ablaze. YouTube comments are flooded, and barbershop debates are hitting a whole new level. The fan base completely split. It's become a battle of loyalty versus legacy, respect versus resentment, and depending on who you ask, either 50 Cent crossed a line, or Big Meech turned his back on someone who once held him down. On one side, you've got the people rallying behind Big Meech. They see him as a living symbol of street loyalty, someone who took his 30-year sentence on the chin and did his time without pointing fingers. To them, calling Meech a snitch without hard proof is not just disrespectful, it's dangerous. They argue that if anyone earned immunity from such accusations, it's a man who stayed solid behind bars for nearly 3 decades. Supporters of Big Meech believe 50's public accusations crossed a sacred line. In their eyes, snitching is the ultimate street betrayal, and accusing someone of it, especially someone like Meech with undeniable court-stamped paperwork, is reckless. Penitentiary code doesn't deal in speculation. You don't throw that label around unless you can prove it, because once that rumor's in the air, it doesn't come back down. It sticks forever. To that side of the crowd, 50 Cent is doing the most. They feel he's airing out dirty laundry that should have stayed behind the scenes. That instead of handling things like a boss, 50's been weaponizing social media, using court documents, captions, and shade to assassinate character for clout and control. Some see it as a calculated takedown, rooted in ego, not justice. And it doesn't help that 50's known for turning conflict into content, from Ja Rule to Floyd Mayweather to the game. He's built a career on confrontation. They argue that no matter how frustrated 50 might feel about what's happened between him and Lil Meech, dragging the elder Meech's name through the mud he did nearly 30 years, after he allowed his life story to be turned into a show, is just wrong. They say it's betrayal disguised as branding. But then there's the other side, the ones riding with 50 Cent, saying he's not just clapping back, he's exposing the truth. To them, this isn't about disrespect. It's about feeling used. They believe that 50 invested real time, money, and mentorship into Lil Meech's rise, helping turn the BMF story into a cultural moment. He didn't just give Meech Jr. a job, he gave him a shot at greatness. Acting lessons, a platform, industry access, and the chance to turn his last name into a brand. And how did they feel he was repaid? With betrayal. 50's supporters say Big Meech distanced himself from the very man who kept his name alive, paid for his son's growth, and tried to steer him away from self-destruction. They believe the moment Big Meech linked up with Rick Ross, one of 50's longest-running rivals, wasn't just a photo op, it was a shot across the bow. A subtle way of picking sides. And to them, that was the first betrayal, not the Instagram posts. They also point to what 50's done to try and clean up behind the scenes. According to him, he stepped in when Lil Meech spiraled out during filming. Not the BMF team. Not Big Meech, he was the one who sent the young actor to rehab. He was the one who told him to stop wasting money and get serious. When no one else checked him, 50 claims he did. Not as a producer, but like a father figure. So now, watching that same kid allegedly blow millions on cars and jewelry, while aligning himself with people 50's been at war with, it stings. That's why his fans say this isn't about clout or control, it's about loyalty. And from that lens, 50 wasn't attacking Big Meech, he was defending himself. They believed that after everything he invested into the BMF project and into Lil Meech, as a young black actor, he deserved respect. Not to be ghosted, not to be disrespected, not to be turned into the villain in a story he helped revive. But it's deeper than just two powerful men clashing over egos. This whole fallout taps into bigger questions about legacy, power, street credibility, and what happens when real life and entertainment collide. The line between the show BMF and the real BMF seems thinner than ever, and fans are feeling that tension. Some say the show should have never been made if it was going to turn into a war. Others believe the drama was inevitable when art starts reflecting the lives of people who are still alive, still involved, and still emotional about what went down. Right now, the internet is full of noise. Some are saying, how can you call Big Meech a snitch when he sat down for almost 30? Others are shouting, how could Big Meech turn his back on 50 after everything he did for his son? There's no clean answer. But one thing's for sure, this isn't just beef, it's legacy-level conflict. And it's no longer just a matter of who's right and who's wrong. It's about how far people are willing to go for respect, loyalty, and control over their story. The fanbase isn't just watching anymore, they're choosing sides. And here's where things really start to simmer. According to 50 Cent, the heart of this feud has nothing to do with snitching or loyalty or even respect. It's about something far more personal, jealousy, in a string of calculated Instagram posts and subtle interviews. 50 began hinting that this whole storm didn't start with leaked footage or messy arrests. No, according to him, the real tension began when Big Meech started to resent the bond forming between 50 and his son, Lil Meech. When 50 decided to bring BMF to the screen, it wasn't just a business move, it was personal. He handpicked Lil Meech for the lead role, not just to honor the legacy of the Black Mafia family, but to give the young man a shot-on opportunity to step out of his father's shadow and into the spotlight. And for a while, it worked. 50 wasn't just a producer or a mentor. He became a guide, someone who took Lil Meech under his wing when the fame hit fast and hard. But behind the scenes, 50 claims that bond didn't sit well with Big Meech. In his version of events, the father began feeling replaced, watching from behind bars as his son leaned more on 50 than on him. And that feeling allegedly festered, so much so that 50 claims Big Meech actually cut his son off financially, not because of irresponsibility or mismanagement, but simply to prove a point. A power move. A message that said, don't forget who made you. To some, it sounds too petty to be true. But in 50's world, this kind of dynamic isn't rare. When ego, fatherhood, legacy, and millions of dollars collide, emotions run hot. And for a man like Big Meech, the undisputed king of the streets, watching someone else mentor his son, fund his growth, and shape his image on a global scale, might have felt like an erosion of his influence. 50, never one to stay silent, threw gas on the fire with this perspective. He made it clear that he believes the real beef isn't rooted in rumors or paperwork. It's rooted in pride of father watching his son grow closer to another man. A man who now controls the narrative of the BMF story, both on screen and off. And if what 50 is saying holds even a grain of truth, it adds a whole new layer to the fallout. This wouldn't just be about hurt feelings, it would be about a deep rift within a father-son dynamic complicated by fame, generational trauma, and street-born pride. The man who once ruled an empire now watches from the sidelines, while the person he sees as an outsider steps in, takes control, and becomes a role model to his only son. In 50's eyes, this wasn't disloyalty, this was fatherhood filling a void. But in Big Meech's eyes, it might have felt like betrayal in disguise. And that's what makes this beef more than just another internet moment. It's not just about clout or captions. It's about family, power, and who gets to claim the throne when legacy is on the line. But 50 didn't stop there. He painted a picture of himself as the one trying to guide Lil Meech through fame, money, and chaos, while Big Meech, in his eyes, was encouraging recklessness. I told him to stop doing drugs. Big Meech was telling him stories about popping X like it was cool. I told him to stop blowing his money. He bragged about how much he spent. Nobody knows this, but I had to send him to rehab. And that's not just talk. 50 said actor Russell Hornsby personally told him Lil Meech showed up on set messed up a moaning during a weapons test. Then another crew member spotted whippets in his truck. Yeah, the nitrous gas kind. The same stuff used in BB guns.
Just an actor, sir.
No, I understand.
Man.
Do you have a concealed weapons permit or anything like
no,
that?
I don't, sir. They left that in my bag. My little brother, he was outside waiting for me, sir. I promise you, sir, that's not mine.
Okay.
I have security guards, sir.
Okay.
See how much jewelry I have on me? I went to private school. I'm a good kid, man.
He's saying that he's an actor and he has private security guards.
Does he have a security weapons permission?
No,
No,
sir.
he doesn't have a.
Listen, sir, I just want to tell you.
Right? His ID and everything's supposedly in the bag.
Listen, sir, I want to tell you 1 second. I fly every week, sir. I have 2 security guards, and we are rushing to the airport. I have a premiere. I'm an actor. That's why I have a big chain. Me and 50 Cent have a TV show. Sir, this was wrong.
Whippets on a TV set. Let that sink in for a second. According to 50 Cent, that was the final straw. He was genuinely unbaffled. He admitted he didn't even know what whippets were at first. For those unfamiliar, whippets are small canisters of nitrous oxide laughing gas commonly misused for a short, disorienting high. It's the kind of thing you'd expect to see at a college party, not behind the scenes of a major television production. And this wasn't just a one-off moment of recklessness. It was reportedly part of a troubling pattern 50 had been watching unfold in real time. Behind the cameras, away from the red carpets and highlight reels, things were spiraling. And for 50% that hit different because this wasn't just some actor on the payroll. This was Lil Meech, the son of the very man whose legacy the show BMF was built to honor. A kid 50 Cent didn't just cast, he invested in, and not just with money, with time, with mentorship, with vision. It all started when 50 handpicked Lil Meech to play his father in BMF. Not because he had acting experience, he didn't. But because 50 believed in authenticity. He thought it would hit harder if the son stepped into the father's shoes, and he was willing to do the work to make that happen, so he paid out of pocket for acting lessons. Hooked him up with industry coaches, groomed him for the spotlight, introduced him to Hollywood's elite. He gave Lil Meech the keys to a career that could have set him up for life. But instead of planting seeds, Lil Meech allegedly burned through everything, according to insiders and 50's own public comments. Meech blew through a jaw-dropping $5 million in just 3 years. And it wasn't on investments, businesses, or building generational wealth. It was on fast living, drip, chains, luxury cars, private flights, and late nights. Flash, not foundation, no real assets, no equity, just a trail of receipts and regrets. 50. This wasn't just disappointing, it was deeply personal. He had tried to show Lil Meech a better way, a path that didn't end in addiction, prison, or self-destruction. But watching him throw it all away then allegedly get high on set in front of respected actors and crew felt like betrayal. So when the Whippets story came out, it wasn't just about drugs, it was a symbol, a red flag, a sign that everything 50 had worked to build was starting to fall apart from the inside. And for a man who prides himself on control, loyalty, and legacy, that's a line you don't cross. So yeah, 50 Cent's frustration is loud, and to some, totally justified. He put the kid on, he tried to build something real, and he feels like he got burned. But here's the twist. Did 50 really start this whole rat narrative just because Big Meech posed with Rick Ross? A man 50's been feuding with for years. Is this beef more personal than we realize? And now that Big Meech has finally stepped in first with a cryptic IG message, and allegedly, with private warnings sent through industry insiders, the line between entertainment and real street energy is getting blurry. Some insiders are saying producers from the BMF series have even backed off, trying to cool the tension before it spills off screen. Because this isn't just promo beef anymore, it's starting to feel like something way deeper. So what do you think? Did 50 cross the line? Or did Big Meech betray someone who held it down while he was locked away? Drop your take in the comments, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. This story's just heating up. We'll catch you next time with the latest.